And a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. My name is Jeff Owens, General Manager at WEIU. My co-host is Michelle Bravo.
Hello.
And my guest today, I thought you'd been here before, is Amber May.
Hi there.
Welcome, Amber.
Thank you.
Amber is the EIU Director of Alumni Services and Special Events. So I guess we'll start with you being promoted, or how things, things are always different, but being named Director of the Alumni Services, congratulations, and talk about that.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, and thank you for having me today. So I've spent the last 10 years started as the events coordinator for the alumni and worked my way up to assistant, then associate director of alumni services. My predecessor just retired in June, so he's slacking off right now, cutting woods, something. But so I took over director at 1st of July. So looking forward to moving in this role and getting out in front of the alumni a lot more.
And this, of course, is your busiest week, so we appreciate you coming over today. But it seems it's been a tradition to have either, Steve Rich on for the past, almost 15, 20 years this week to talk about everything it's homecoming. So talk about a little bit about, how exciting is it? It's homecoming week, 2022, and you've got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, of course. Always a great time of year, especially after the couple years we've had with COVID and not being able to do some stuff. Looking forward to getting the alumni back on campus, showcasing what this campus has done and all the things that we've been able to do with their support. So it's just nice to be able to get them back and just get the energy back on campus with them.
So is there going to be like a float or something, or like a table where you have for like the alums? I know like a lot of like organizations do that.
Yes, of course. So we will have a float in the parade.
Okay.
We'll be honoring our distinguished alumni recipients. So they'll be riding the float with the association. And then at tailgate, we have about 8 tents that each college will be represented. The Alumni Association will be representing. And it's just a way for alums to come back, and there's free food and giveaways and games and just be able to mingle with staff, faculty, students, and then fellow alumni.
I was going to talk before we get to some of those distinguished award recipients. As you get to Friday, what all kinds of things do you do this week to get ready for the weekend?
Of course. Right now, since my assistant director is out on maternity leave, so I'm doing everything from writing scripts to making name tags to putting programs together, all the little things that make the event run successfully, all the behind-the-scenes work. And then also communicating with all the recipients that are coming, the alumni that are coming back, just telling them what's going on. So
let's get into some of we always do this, the Alumni Award recipients to be honored this year. And I just put them in this list, and you can talk about why they're so deserving and maybe something that ties them into Eastern, however you want to do it. But the first one, 2011, Jamie, is it Ingy? Ingy. All right. Talk about her and what she's done to get the Outstanding Young Alumnus Award.
Yeah. Actually, it's a gentleman.
All right. I got that wrong already. Never assume, right?
He is president and co-founder of a nonprofit organization in Chicago that helps Black students be successful. So he is very successful in his young age. Was very active in his fraternity. Sorry.
I miss everything.
Too. But he's definitely strived in his young age and been very accomplished so far.
Only 11 years out of Eastern.
Yeah, so.
Your distinguished educator is Deb Will.
Yeah, Deb Will comes from Mount Zion Benton, and she's, I think, been in the organization about 20 years now as a teacher. So looking forward to awarding her accomplishments.
And she's a Distinguished Educator Award. Randy Johnson, the Lewis Hinkin Alumni Services Award. Talk about the award and what Randy Johnson did to get that.
Yeah, so this award, named after past President Lou Hinkin, is all about service to Eastern. It's giving back to Eastern, supporting Eastern either financially or volunteering. And Randy's done both. And he's part of a group out in Arizona that he hosts an alumni event every year for us. So it's nice to be able to finally, award his accomplishments. He's got a big part in the athletic raffle giveaway. He's donating the house stay in Arizona plus $1,000 for those tickets. So just his generosity to Eastern has been.
And that's always one of the big turnouts out in Scottsdale when everybody, of course, if you've ever been to Scottsdale,
yes.
You know why, but so he's behind all that. I did not know.
He is behind
that.
all that, yes.
Cool. The next one, some of our people around here have all heard of, Mr. Henry Domerkant, the former EIU basketball player, Distinguished Alumni Award. Talk about Henry and the the cool thing that he's doing right now.
Yeah, of course. Henry's obviously had a great career in basketball. Right now, coaching for the Windy City Bulls. So being able to recognize that is is great for him.
And was he an athlete when you were here too at the same time? Were you
He
guys
was-
close?
He was not. No, he
Okay.
was 2003 grad.
Okay, I was thinking.
So I just missed him. Yep.
Okay. He was really good, by the way.
He was.
So, then Dawn Johnson, distinguished alumni from the class of '83.
Yeah, so Dawn's been very involved on Eastern's campus. She's been past president of University Foundations, and so we're excited to have her back as well.
And she's a lawyer in St. Louis, is
She's
correct?
a lawyer, yes.
There you go. J. Thomas Long, class of '73, distinguished alumni. What's he do?
Jay is unfortunately has passed this past January, but he has been in the law business as well.
And this next guy we've heard about, Steve Rich, class of '06. He just retired. He would be here today if he didn't retire.
Yes, absolutely. So Steve has been our Director of Alumni Services for about 26 years. Just retired in July, and has made a huge impact here at Eastern, has raised money for the association into the millions, been able to support scholarships to the university as well. So.
And the last one getting an award is Mr. Sal Viviano. Did I get that right?
Viviano, yes. He is a Broadway musical star out in New York, and very active still in Broadway, and sings national anthem at the Mets game every Saturday.
Oh, really? Well, he's probably not in a very good mood today. Before we get to Michelle, when you talk about the process of these folks, it's not you that picks them, it's not the associate. How does that work and to get these awards that are going to be presented Saturday night?
Yeah, of course. So this is an open nomination to all alums and community. So we ask anybody can nominate our alums, and it's just a matter of filling out a form and submitting a kind of recommendation letter. All these will then go to our association board of directors, who's a board of all volunteers of alumni, and they will just rank and select each recipient for the categories.
Cool.
Do you like send out like a mass email like asking if they're gonna come back, or like just to like have like an estimate of how many people to expect, or how does
Yeah,
that
of course.
work?
So working with the award recipients, it's the personal phone call, that's that
Okay.
connection, building that with them, and getting to know them before they come.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, sending emails to alums and using social media to get the word out about their honor, and
Yeah.
being able to recognize them and inviting folks to the dinner as well.
In terms of all the alumni, everything is open this year. So, did you do a more concerted effort to try to get people back for this coming weekend?
Yeah, we did. We pushed out a lot more direct mail invites. Usually we get a better response via direct mail. Things don't get lost in the
Yeah.
emails. But just sending that out, just making people aware that we are back on campus, we are back doing events, we're back honoring our alumni like that we always have been.
Okay. Let's also don't forget that 1972 is the class that's going to be is it 50 years, right?
50 years, yes.
So I always like the process of this happening, and Steve always had some neat stories about how it comes and what they expect. And have you heard anything yet? What the class of 72 expects when they come back?
I think they just want to get back on campus. A lot of them haven't been back since they graduated, and so it's a time for them to do it. We've got people coming from Texas, Florida. I think we have somebody coming from Oregon, and then all across the state and kind of surrounding states. So it's always nice to get them back. There's buildings here on campus they've never even seen before. There's buildings that they get to tell us stories on what used to be there. And so it's interesting to be able to interact with them and hear their story and what it was like 50 years ago compared to now. But really, the one thing that hasn't changed is just the greatness that EIU instills in students.
What will be kind of their? Can you give us a quick run through what they're going to do Friday and Saturday when they get to campus?
So Friday we take them around campus on golf carts, just kind of show them around and give them a little tour. And so that's where the stories come out of, where they used to live, where they used to hang out, and just showing the differences. And then we have just a social reception that they get to mingle with each other, look through the old yearbooks, look through old photos. And then we have our pinning ceremony. So they get inducted to the Livingston Sea Lord Society. So if they return for their 50th reunion, they do get a pin. So the president of the university will award them with that pin. And then we just have a nice dinner together.
How many are you expected? Do you have any idea from the class 72?
I think we have about 30 class members coming back, and then with their guest, about 75 will be at dinner.
Is that a good number, or is that the average?
That's about average right now. I think, the traveling times right now, times are tough with traveling and costs and stuff like that. So I'm very happy with the turnout that we are going to get. Very surprised, but I think it just shows that the great time they had at Eastern and their willingness to come back.
I think it would be cool to see their the look on their face when they see campus for the first time in 50 years. Can you imagine?
Yes.
You graduate this
Yeah.
spring, Michelle, so
Yeah.
that'll be 2023, so that would be 2073
my
when you
God.
would come back, if you didn't come back.
What
Think
would
about
that?
the time.
How many?
That's crazy.
Yeah. How long have they been graduated
50.
for?
50
years. Oh
yeah.
my God.
So it'd be 50, it'd be 27.
I don't even know what this town would be in 50 years, honestly. But yeah.
I would love to-
It's always fun to hear the changes. So.
That's cool. There's also some about the Heritage Society. I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with this one, so I'm going to leave that up to you to talk about that.
Yeah, so the Heritage Society is anybody that has a planned gift with the university. So if they leave our name in their estates, we do honor them, and there is a penning ceremony along with that. So we did combine that with the 50th just a few years ago, just to make it a nicer event, larger scale event. So we asked those folks to come back. And they're benefactors to EIU just like anybody else. But they are generous enough to leave us in their estate and hopefully one day have a nice gift out of it.
There you go.
Yeah, it is really like nice to like talk to like alumni, just because like for my sorority they came back, and they always come back for homecoming, but they were just telling, like, we went through all the yearbooks, they showed us like a whole bunch of things, and I was just like, wow, this is crazy. Like there's certain buildings that aren't even like up anymore that they used to like go to, and I'm just like, wow.
I mean, those are the kind of stories and the stuff that's so neat.
Absolutely.
Let's get to the Saturday. I mean, that's what everybody kind of, I know Friday's big and the week's a lot of stuff for the students on campus, but Saturday's a lot of stuff, what people think of as homecoming because of the, the parade and the tent city and everything. So just take us through what people can expect on, Saturday, and specifically what they expect in your alumni tent.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, Saturday starts with the parade. I think, the kind of the milestone of homecoming.
What time does that start? At 9 a.m.?
9:30.
9:30.
Okay,
Where
yeah.
it starts. Yeah. So, like I said, we'll have a float, and there'll be hundreds of other floats in there as well. I bought extra candy this year, so alums can be have their bags full of candy when they leave. But after the parade, directly after the parade, everybody is welcome over to O'Brien, just outside the stadium in the grass area. Like I said, we've got about 6 or 7 tents out there. Each college will be represented. Along with Graduate School, Honors College, the library, Housing and Dining will have a tent, and then the alumni have a tent. Like I said, it's just free to roam. It's free for everybody. There's food, giveaway, prizes. Each tent does something a little bit different. But it's nice to be able to meet the current staff, past staff, and then obviously alums that are back.
Now, do you get to enjoy the game, or are you still hobnobbing and all that stuff during the game? I mean,
Yeah, I get to enjoy a little bit of it. Usually it's in between cleaning up and then also turn around getting ready for dinner. So then dinner starts at 6, so it's a very tight schedule. So I maybe get to see, second quarter when we get our alumni recipients down in the field to recognize them. So
so you don't really get to enjoy the game all that much,
no.
really.
I get to listen to it on the radio.
There you go. And don't forget the radio. We'll be at Marty's. We'll be at Dirty starting at 8:00 that morning, kind of the pre-parade music and everything, and then we'll be live there on the corner of Dirty. I always call it the corner of Dirty's in Lincoln there as we prepare. One of the things that I think is interesting now that we're in, almost like I said, at the end of 2022, staying in touch with alumni, because you talked about direct mail, and a lot of people think direct mail is no longer, but so talk about the staying in touch with alumni and how it's so much different with the different ages.
Yeah, of course. Certainly with our later grad years, class of 72 and up, and even, in the 70s, we use direct mail a lot. I think it's our best way to get in front of people. And I think even when we get mail at home, if it's appealing and you open it, it's just another touch point. We see even the younger alums, they don't like direct mail, they like email. And so it's trying to find that balance of how we communicate with these different eras and decades. So it's tough. I will say it's getting tougher. We are competing with all kinds of different organizations to get in front of our alums. But it's a matter of using social media, using email campaigns, using the direct mail pieces, and then getting creative, using the radio ads. I know newspapers are a little tougher these days, but trying to find online advertisement as well, just to get out in front of alums.
How do you use social media to kind of talk about the Alumni Association?
Yeah, so we do have a Facebook and Instagram. So those are our two biggest. We're trying to gear up LinkedIn. We have not touched base into the Snapchat world yet.
Or TikTok.
Or
anything.
TikTok, yeah. So luckily, I've hired a very young assistant director, and so I'm hoping she can definitely take that over and run with it, because I am not tech savvy whatsoever when it comes to that. I know how to scroll through TikTok, and I watch it for 3 hours every night, but I couldn't tell you how to make a video to save my life. So.
But social media helps because the visual of it. When you guys are out in Arizona or you're at a Cubs game or a Cardinals game, those things I think make it kind of stand out. Would you agree?
Absolutely, and I think it's a quick way to get news out to alums and share things, what's going on. So it's not a 3-day delay or a week delay if you're sending direct mail. It's definitely a faster process to get and keeps alums more engaged, I think.
Now, everybody is an alum, but to be part of the Alumni Association, they have to give a little bit back to Eastern. Can you talk about that process?
Yeah, of course. So we do have an Alumni Association membership program. So $45 a year gets you an annual membership. And this association's great. Their mission is to give back to Eastern and just instill greatness in EIU that EIU does for its students. So the association gives grants to the university, student scholarships. They put on events for students and alumni to get connected. So everything that the association does directly benefits EIU. So it's definitely a great program they've put together.
So what I was thinking about was what is the direct mail, is that what it is, look like? Like, what do you send?
Yeah, of course.
What's the design aspect?
So we've gotten a lot more creative in the past few years. 5 years ago, it was a basic letter.
Okay.
Signature at the bottom, dear alum at the top. So we are getting more creative right now, using pictures, using graphics, sending just postcards with less words.
Yeah.
I think we're all very busy to read a letter right now, and I'm guilty. I don't always read the letters. But if I pick up a piece of mail that has an attractive picture or something that draws my attention to it, I'm more likely to pick it up. So it's using those creative ideas.
Do you make it more personal now? I know some are so generic that it's the Dear Alumni versus that it was mass produced versus if it's Dear Michelle or something like that, I would be more likely to read it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do personalize all our mail pieces. So it is addressed to the actual alum themselves, and we've even gone as far as we'll personalize, put in what major they had or what year they graduated to make it a personal touch to it. And so luckily with technology these days, we're able to personalize a lot more than we used to.
Do you ever get a chance to use the quote-unquote famous EIU alum to try to gear people to join the association or to show up to events?
Yeah, of course. So events we've had, alums over the years attend. So that's, Mike Shanahan just came back for the athletic golf outing, and it was a huge draw. It'd be great if, we could get that every event, having some of our famous alums back, but I know they're busy. But we've used them in marketing appeals, we've used them in our giving appeals, and they definitely do draw, and I think it just attests to just their loyalness to EIU and being able to give and just getting people to join on that respect.
And of course, you're a famous EIU alum too.
Right, yes.
One of the greatest players ever to play for EIU.
Thank you.
There you go. Other events this week at Homecoming that people may not know about that they can either view, get involved with, or whatever?
Yeah, of course. I'd say the biggest one, and a brand new one this year. Friday night, we'll be doing a block party out at O'Brien parking lot. It starts at 7 o'clock. We'll have live music from 90s Daughter. It's a band out of Champaign. There'll be food trucks, a beer tent, games, entertainment. We'll have some other VIP appearances there. So it's kind of a neat deal. We're trying to just bring the students in the community and the alumni together. Just another way just for something them to do Friday night while they're back, making a weekend out of it.
So you need to get a lot of sleep early in the weekend, is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, there's a lot of events, which...
You're going to be busy once Friday gets here.
It is, yes. It is a long 2 days, so...
Obviously, Homecoming is big. It's a big part of it. Other things that are coming up this quarter as we wrap up, as we look towards the end of 2022?
Yeah, of course. We do have a few alumni events on the schedule. I think our next big one is November 7th when the EIU go up and play the U of I men's basketball team. We'll be doing an alumni reception up at Papa Del's. So any alums are welcome to join us, and 5 to 7 on November 7th. Other than that, we've got some events planned in Chicago in January. Unfortunately, I know it's very cold, but we've got an admitted student day up there, so we're going to work with admissions and do an event up there. We go to Arizona in February with Randy Johnson and his group.
Tough job you got there, yeah.
So we've got spring, we've got a full slate of events ahead of us that we're trying to work out final details on.
Now, are you still helping with softball team too as well?
I am. I help with the high school team.
High school team,
So in the
okay.
spring, yes. So
how's that go? You like it?
I do. I love it. it gives me a break from my day-to-day job and gets me back into the sport that I love to play, but doesn't take up all of my time. So I'm able to still do my job and still do that and still be part of the community in that sense.
And you're a high school referee, too, for football.
And I'm a high school referee for football and now basketball.
Oh, basketball. I did
just
not know.
picked up
See, I learned.
basketball. So, yeah, so I stay busy. But my passions, I love sports. I grew up playing sports. So I love that my job, I'm able to do both. And do the sports aspect after
Do you
work.
like the local football like here?
I do,
So you
yes.
did like the Clash and everything?
I didn't do the Clash. I was in Arthur last Friday, but
okay.
I'm supposed to have the Charleston game this Friday, but unfortunately I'll be busy
Oh, yeah,
working,
yeah.
so
Yeah, I'd take that
I
one
had
off.
to get a replacement. But
Is there anything surprising about the new jobs that you took it over that you just you weren't ready for, either good, bad, or indifferent?
I mean, just the surprise is talking to more alums. I didn't, I'm on the phone a lot more now with alumni, and just being able to connect. I didn't realize how much I'd be on the phone with this position.
Yeah.
I feel like my phone's always ringing, but it's always good. It's always alums asking questions, always, getting them answers and finding out, hey, they're coming back to campus. How can we help them? So that part's been rewarding. Other than that, I mean, minus, Steve leaving me, retiring, and having a assistant director on maternity leave. So being shorthanded it's been tough. But
Is it just you? Was it just you three, and now it's just you in the department? Or is there other people around?
so we do have two other. We've got a guy that does our report writing, and then we've got another gentleman that's over our annual fund and communications as well. So.
So as you've taken over, have you kind of figured out a leadership style that's Amber May's, or are you just kind of still feeling your way through it?
Yeah, right now still trying to figure out what I'm doing, and still trying to figure out all the loose ends. But we've got a very young office, and I think it's a good change, and we're looking forward to trying some new things and being innovative in the coming year to benefit campus, to benefit our alums, and just make everything run a little bit smoother.
Can you give us any ideas what these new things might be, or is it just still in the process?
Still in the process.
I have to ask.
Yeah, no, of course. A lot of it's just getting more creative and trying to find, what makes the alums tick to either give or join the association or come to an event. Obviously, time's very busy in everybody's lives right now, and a lot of charities are competing. So it's just figuring out, what these alumni stories are and why they give, and how we can get more support, just because it is important, and to be able to give back to the students.
So that's your biggest challenge, I think?
That's the biggest challenge right now, is just getting, the additional money support. But, we're always pushing along, so.
Michelle, anything?
Not right now.
Okay, no, that's good. Do you have any openings or needs or internships that you're offering through the
sure.
alumni? Anything that students or other people can get involved with?
Yeah, so we hire student workers, and honestly, they're the ones that keep the office going, the day-to-day updating. Alumni move, it's at amazing rates. So when we get mail back, our student workers are the ones updating that data so we can keep it up to date. So that's probably our biggest student work, is having those students do that. They help setting up events. They help kind of all the tedious stuff that, and they have fun with it. So, setting up decorations for tables, setting up the tents this weekend. So,
How many EIU alumni are there out there living? Do you have an idea off the top of your head?
living, I'll say we have, I think, 112,000 living alumni out there.
Wow.
So, and it just keeps growing every year.
Oh, yeah, I got to ask this question, too, because we're all talking about the good stuff.
Yeah.
But if you get a mad alum, you got somebody who's just peed off about something's happened, what is the Amber May way that you deal with them?
Yeah, of course. Unfortunately, it does happen. But the best, how I deal with it, you just listen to them, and let them talk, let them tell their story, let them tell you why they're mad. But then just reassure them that, you can, whatever you can do to take care of things. And then just giving that customer service back to them. Usually by the end of the conversation, it's usually a miscommunication, or it's they were unaware of something. So just being able to explain that, 9 times out of 10, they hang up and, they're fine. But it's just letting them talk, letting them get it off their chest. Obviously something's bothered them that we've done or that they didn't know about. So it's just listening and explaining it to them.
So you're a good listener, is what you're saying, Amber?
Yeah.
Yes, I try to be.
Nothing wrong with that. Before we get into the crazy 8 questions about unrelated stuff, anything that we forgot about the Alumni Association that you would like to get the word out today here at WEIU?
I think the biggest thing is just if as an alum, get involved. We have a board of 21 board of directors. They're all volunteers. Every year we've got openings for board of directors as they kind of cycle off. But it's a great group of alumni who get together 4 times a year, and they really do do what's best for the university. They raise money. They raise all the membership dues go back to the university. So the more members we get, the more scholarships we can give, the grants that we can give to the departments. So it's a really neat program to be a part of for your alma mater.
Do you ever have to call Steve and just say, Steve, this situation happened? Is he still available for?
Absolutely. Steve's on speed dial. I text him just about daily. So he knows to answer now. He can't block my phone calls. So, and I know where he lives if he does. But yeah, he has definitely been a great help in the couple months that he has been gone, and I know he will be for the next few years. So
there you go. We have to give Steve a hard time.
Yes,
we
absolutely.
Even though he quit on us.
Yeah.
Retired, I should say. Right.
Right.
There you go. All right. We're going to random make questions. Some of these will maybe fit you, Michelle, too. So
okay.
we'll just go through but they're kind of Amber centric, but we'll see. All right. As we kind of wrap up issues and attitudes on this Monday. How many EIU shirts, pieces of clothing do you think you own?
Oh gosh.
Well, I've been here 14 years since when I started college, and I probably own over 200 EIU shirts. I'm afraid when I retire, I don't think I'll have anything ever to wear because all I have is blue. So I have blue shirts, more blue shirts than I can ever keep in my house. So.
Well, I've been here for 4 years now, so I'd say this is gonna sound bad, but I think I only have like max 10.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever go a day without somebody talking softball to you?
Ooh, that's tough. If I stay in my office and don't answer the phone or leave my office, then yes. No, but usually when I go out in public,
Somebody's bringing
most
it up.
people I know are in the softball world, so yeah, we talk quite a bit of softball.
Favorite pro sports team?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to say the Denver Broncos.
No wonder you and Jess get along. There you go.
I don't know. Anything that's Chicago sport, like I don't care. Like
Those are no wrong answers to this.
Yeah.
This is a tough one. You have to answer it, okay? Your all-time favorite EIU athlete that's not you. All right?
Ooh.
Is there somebody that you just love to watch or love to talk to that's the one?
I'm gonna have to give a shout out to my board member, Pete Mock, football player here at EIU. I never got to watch him play, but just interacting with him and seeing his love for football after the fact. He's at every event, every outing for football. It's after the fact, probably Pete. But watching Jimmy. I was here when Jimmy played. He was a freshman when I was a senior. And then obviously being on the work side.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G.
yeah.
Seeing him play and kind of getting watching him play was probably my favorite.
I know sports aren't your thing, but do you have a favorite EIU athlete, Michelle?
I don't even.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna say
That's
that.
fine. Favorite band or musician?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go. Probably Tim McGraw. I'm an old school country girl, so I'm
I like
going
a few
Tim
of his
McGraw.
songs. That is so hard to pick because it literally changes for me every day.
Live radio, we have to go.
I will say Greta Van Fleet right now.
That's all right. Now, when you played softball, did you have a superstition? Is something you had to do every game, like a special shirt, food, something? What was it?
Yeah, so this is not healthy, but I had a Nas energy drink and a peanut butter protein bar every day before the game. And then on Saturdays, I included a grilled cheese and a cinnamon roll from Lincoln Garden. So.
That's awesome. What's your favorite sport besides softball? And then we're out of here.
Probably football.
Football?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, and congratulations on the job.
Yes,
and you'll
thank
do a
you.
great job over there, all right?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's Amber May. Homecoming week is this week here on the campus of EIU. Everybody have a great day.